Hello and welcome, I am Drake598 Shadow, and I am here today to give you a tutorial on Chapter 4 Space Hulk Deathwing. So we'll just get into that. I am playing multiplayer, although I am playing solo, on the hardest difficulty, just using a standard sort of apothecary loadout.
The strange Dark Angel's beacon conducted us to the corpse of Brother Magon, a Dark Angel from the earliest days of the Imperium. Along with many brothers, he was lost with the ship Caliban's Will. It was one of the cruisers sent back to Caliban with Luther during the Age of Heresy, 10,000 years ago. This confirmed our suspicions. We had to discover the story of Caliban's Will, and perhaps learn something of the loyalty and fate of its crew. I conducted a psychic scan that showed me a strange artifact inside the ancient Dark Angel ship. We had to find it at any cost. We needed to reach Caliban's Will quickly, but more and more, I felt the encroaching psychic presence of an inhuman eye watching us, waiting in darkness.
These routes will work in pretty much all cases for the storyline as well. The only difference is you are playing a librarian rather than an apothecary, and you have two AI companions. Otherwise, the missions are the same and the routes are the same.
The identifier code of the trapped ship has been decrypted. Mixed blessings, brother. We have located the Caliban's Will, last recorded in action during the Horus Heresy, as we suspected. It can only be reached through another vessel, a Crusade warship from the Black Templars that is listed as lost in the warp during the 39th millennium, identified in the archives as the Sanctum Imperator. It was launched by the Missionarius Galaxia, but never reached its destination. The transport has impacted into the Caliban's Will, and is preventing direct access to our ancient Legion ship.
Okay, so we'll just head straight through the portal. Chapter 4 is where it starts to get a bit more hectic. So you are going to want to open this door, and we're going to head straight to the right as quickly as possible. Let's break through that smashable wall, and we are going to proceed down to the end. The quicker you are here, the less likely you are to get swamped by enemies. There's the first relic. Do be aware of shooters in this room. They do like to hide in those little alcoves there. Alcoves. They're gonna blow up on me no matter what I do. And feel free to lock that door as we do not return this way. We're then going to proceed up here and turn straight to the right and proceed down. Enemy shooters can spawn on this platform just here, as you can see. I'm not going to... That is an enemy psyker, so he is a top priority, as always. And through this door on the left. I obviously did not kill that psyker. So I'm just going to take a moment to heal. Looks like all the shooters are there, dead. This turret will be active, so you will need to kill it. But after that, you are free to get the next relic, just down here. And we proceed out that locked door where the turret was. can quite easily engage here if there is a Cypher or Broodlord. It depends on what enemies you are facing. And that is a Psyker, so we are just going to sprint down to this door. And pick up the third relic for the map. As you can see, heavy stubbers hurt quite a lot. I'm just going to lock up this room before I grab the relic here. That is sitting on the table. By doing it this way, I will have shifted most of the shooters to this area over here and down the little tunnel to my right. That's the Psyker. If I do not give him a line of sight on me, he won't. Yeah, and there we go. Just going to take a moment to reload. Sometimes from about here you can hit the turret if you can get your crosshairs to sit where it needs to sit. On this occasion I'm not going to be able to. There is a rocket launcher up there on the pillar and the same on the other side. As you can see, that center circle does not always like to move away from objects. Now, I am just trying to take it a little bit slower to designate where most things can be. And that I have not taken out that Psyker as well. There is going to be another rocket launcher up there that I'll have to deal with. How did that miss you, my friend? Okay, so the rocket launcher will be up there. So long as that Psyker is actually dead, take out the turrets that are here. There we go. And when you actually get to the secure point, normally a Cypher will pop up, but sometimes it can be a Broodlord. Only ever really on the hardest difficulty, but you will see what I mean in just a moment. As most of the shooters are being dealt with, we are free to deal with this guy. Depending on the situation, you can deal with him as you please. He does need to be dealt with. As I am just playing by myself, I will be running him around some objects to slow him down while I deal with him. That's where the sort of turn, pivot, shoot comes in that I think I mentioned in Chapter 3. Oh, we still have some shooters. So hopefully that's dealt with him. Not quite. So turn and run. Shoot. If you can peg him in the head as much as possible, you will actually deal more damage. It is not easy, but and we'll go around, try to deal with him at the same time. As you can see, the ciphers are rather slow, so you can manipulate them around as you need. Just be aware they do have a charge ability. That being said, their charge ability can be to their detriment if you run them into an object or something unbreakable. It will stagger them almost entirely. Sort of like that, as he ran into the pole. Now take a couple more pot shots at that guy. Get hit for my trouble, but he was already very weak. So that was the last shooter.
We cannot board the Caliban's will. Access has been blocked by an alien energy field. The power source for the energy field is a plasma reactor in your vicinity. Access the 3 power relays to redirect the energy flow from the reactor. Brother Librarian, guard well the souls of your companions. We have detected powerful psychic emanations from close to each relay. These emanations might be from enemy psychers, and seem to be drawing the Tyranid fleet towards us. Eliminate the enemy psychers.
This is probably the hardest part in the mission, as the psychers can one-shot you. On that little platform, you will see shooters normally. You can take them out just by blowing up the barrels. And hidden here, through this little pipe, is the relic that you might have heard whispering there. So that brings the total up to 4 so far, I think. You can lock this one up as we're going in the other side. And a full clip is always better for this. I recommend having your party skills up at each room where you have to destroy the relay. Again, having someone with a relatively full stamina bar to just charge straight in up the end to take out the enemy psyker that will appear. He will have a destroy symbol above his head. If you do not deal with him quick enough, he will teleport around the room and just blast your friends and allies. As you will see, there's the destroy target. I'm going to continue to move up. He will probably continue to move to the right there, hopefully, and try to come down this ladder. We'll see how we go. Yep, and there he goes, right down the ladder. Just gotta hope to get him quick enough. I think I got him there. So we just need to activate the relay, and we can now leave this room. I would say have one person in your squad's job set to taking out the cipher as the primary objective in the room. Having someone else maybe hit the switch, and the other 2 providing guard duty. But there will always be plenty of monsters for the people in guard duty to slay in that situation. It's just the damage output on the psychers can be very high, so you want to set them as the highest priority, even before flipping the switch so much. So we continue on down. We'll lock this door up as well, since we're not going to That's why you need to be aware of stealth strains. They do hurt quite a lot. And they are very hard to see. But this next section of tunnel is pretty much just locking doors for the moment. Making sure everything's nice and secure and minimising your exposure to the enemy. So I will try to make this as quick as possible. And you can lock up that other door, but it's not quite as necessary. And it will just delay you getting to your target and having a secured locked door behind your back. Not so important in a group, but right now, more important. So this is essentially going to be the same again. We're going to charge straight up in and try to take out that Psyker first. Depending on your squad composition, do as applies. For instance, I wouldn't recommend a melee unit try to go up and destroy the Psyker. It should be someone with range. The charge effect of your armor is always nice. Be aware of shooters up on that platform. But that's not what I'm worried about. He is. And he's now dead. We've got a big stubber up there, I think. Heavy stubber, sorry. As you can see, I've triggered the objective, so I'm just sort of fleeing the room now, sticking close to the wall, so the shooters up top that I probably have not finished dealing with entirely are still alive. No, they appear to mostly be dead. Chapter 9 is kind of this map in reverse. Although it runs very differently. So now we have a little bit of a walk through these tunnels to get to the next section. There are some enemy spawn points along the way, but nothing too difficult to really ever deal with, especially being such a confined space. The only ones that are really struggling in confined areas are melee units. You can still get away with 2 people shooting even in these tunnels. You just have to remember to have the lead person on the left-hand side and the secondary person on the right. So that you can basically overlap fields of fire. I'm going to sprint to use my stamina before those flies even catch me. Rocket launchers appear over on these platforms, sometimes shooters as well. It's nothing too stressful, especially if you just keep moving. They're not the most accurate at long ranges. And the rocket launchers do have a long reload time. And direct hit. Straight ahead is spawn point, left we go. To the right will be another spawn point, as they're already coming out. And you're going to want to go right to the end. And come out here. Shooters can spawn down these pipes and areas here, so be aware of that. And this first one we just need to lock up. Our merry little way. I know the objective is to the right hand side here, but I do like to go to the left first. Stealth units, such a pain in the ass. And you will find the final relic for the map down this passage to the left. Just continue straight down and through, locking the door behind you, and then we are just going to run straight onto the opposite side where the objective is. You can close that door, that'll buy you a couple more seconds. One end that's secure. This one is locked up completely. So you have to enter this one down here. You can kind of feel free to lock this one behind you. You will have to break it, but the next door you can just lock up and essentially results in the same thing. You just need to remember to leave a little bit faster. So this being the last relay, we're going to want to sit more to the centre, right hand side on this one. As you'll see, there comes up our little target, who is now dead. Sometimes it can be just better to run enemies around on these sorts of maps.
Success, brother. The energy field is no more. Enter the Caliban's
Especially because there's so many little corridors that you can slow them down and trip them up. That being said, you can also get surrounded and pinned down quite easily if you're not aware of your surroundings. And those flies will always slow you down as well, draining your stamina. Now where are those? So we can now just leave and proceed to boarding. Sadly, the apothecary cannot destroy doors in one swing, he requires two. The Narceptium is not the strongest melee weapon. And we continue straight up. You can feel free to lock these doors as you go to sort of secure up your flanks. Again, it depends on what sort of squad you're running with, on whether that is really necessary, and what sort of difficulty. Enemies will continue to drop down there occasionally. But leaving here, I would say have your stamina bar full and walk for as long as possible. In case you do hear a Brood Lord or Cypher, as is entirely possible in this area. Especially while proceeding to boarding. Run from there, so I do have enough stamina.
Hold fast and purify the area. Purge the Xenos.
To enter Caliban's will, you must clear the battle zone and move the bridgehead to support
so
the
they'll
next
come down from
phase
pillars.
of
You can have shooters up there. Same on the other side. They will mainly be coming from the centre, and it's entirely possible you can get Brood Lords and Cyphers in this area as well. They normally come about midpoint in the calculations, not so much before that. So there's that Cypher that I was talking about. This pillar that I'm sort of in front of, you will be able to stagger him on if he charges. But we're just going to run him around for the moment. A good safe spot, if you do require one, is behind this breakable wall here. I will just continue to engage, as you see that Cypher just popping up again as he charges into the pillar. So we'll get him in front of that one and hopefully he'll charge again. Now there's multiples of them. I would rather not hold the centre on that, and I would definitely consider pulling back further, especially in my circumstance right now being solo. And there's that charge, which you can easily sort of sidestep in most cases. And we'll make use of this little safe spot to show you. Calculations are almost complete though.
Time is short. Commence boarding of Caliban's will immediately. Squads are on their way to create a new bridgehead.
And boarding will just be here. So I have been Drake598 Shadow. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions about the game or anything like that, feel free to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll try to get back to you. Yeah, it is a great game for a small squad of 4 players, and very enjoyable. I highly recommend it. Thank you for tuning in. Good day.